Well, hello. All right, let's get into our topics today. We're going to be talking about multi-line variables in our catalog items. Going to over some examples of how and where we could use those multi-line variables, um, how we process those using Flow Designer, and well, hello. Let's get into it. All right, let's get into our topics today. All right. Let's get this squared away. There we go. Now I can see what's going on. OBS is up. StreamerBot's up. Excellent. All right. So back to live action. So again, multi-line variables, some examples, Flow Designer, and how we process those variables using Flow Designer. So we are in my PDI instance, and we're just going to go through and kind of go through this topic, right? So we're going to create a new catalog item, and we can put it anywhere in the catalog. Doesn't matter, right? We can do whatever we want, but our request is going to be pretty simple. We want to collect 3 or 4 pieces of information, and have it turn out to be like an Excel sheet, right? Um, these work out great for firewall rules, for example. Anywhere that you need to, uh, you know, have multi lines of input. That's the same for every line, right? So first name, last name, email address, um, maybe some type of action, add or delete, and then you can use those in a multi-line variable. Again, you can have that for the firewall rule. You can have your in and your out, your ports, IP address, you know, block or deny, add, remove, whatever those actions are. And then as those go through, you can actually automate those behind the scenes with Flow Designer and some of the integrations that are available for the different firewalls. So pretty cool stuff. All right, so we're gonna do a maintain items, and we're just gonna create a new variable or a new catalog item. And this one we're gonna call what are we gonna call this one? Add or remove customer roles. All right. Put it in the catalog. Put it in the service catalog. Boom. What category do we want it under? Oh, let's see. How about role delegation? No, let's do. Guess it doesn't matter. We'll put in role delegation. Okay. Then add or remove contact roles. Cheat. Put that in there. Make it look pretty. Go up to 12. Make it bold. And we could do some other things here. Add different types of add or remove user roles, contact. For example, financial approver, change approver, security, contact, privacy contact, right? So we get a lot of these requests to be able to quickly identify folks at various levels, especially at the change approver level, where our change process sends out the notification to multiple approvers at the customer site. So we'll get into that a little later, but ultimately we want to be able to flag certain customer contacts as a change approver, a financial approver, a security contact, or a privacy contact. So that allows us, if we're doing call trees or something like that, that we can pop that information up to the service desk or whoever needs to know, who a security contact is for a certain customer. So we'll just pop this. We'll get this down to 10. We'll take the bold off of that. We'll do that. Get rid of you. Why it keeps doing that. Oop, 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 oop. You. I don't know why it's adding the. Anyway. We'll leave it like that for now. I don't feel like messing with it. Anyway. So process engine we'll come back to. Ultimately, that'll be the flow that we'll create later. We could add a picture, an icon, portal settings, pretty much leave out of the box. We don't really need to do anything in here. We could change, the method to request or submit, but for this particular example, we're just going to leave it out of the box. And yeah, that's all we need right here. So we're going to right click and save so we can stay on the record. And now we get our traditional, what we're used to seeing where we're creating a new catalog item. For this particular one, I'm going to go to variable sets, new. And if you see here, it says multi-row variable set. It kind of gives an example here. And we're going to choose add. And we're going to give it a name. And we'll call this one or remove customer roles. I'll give it an internal name. There it is. So that's what we'll be using in our code. Bingo, bango. Submit that. We could have right-clicked and save again, but now we got our variable set down here, and we're going to add some variables to our multi-line variable set. Add new. And we're going to keep the first one pretty simple. This is going to be first name, and single line text, first name, right click, save. And we'll do last name, And now we can do an insert and stay. And email address. So I'm doing all of the text first. Just ease of use. Underscore address. Insert and stay. So we got first name, last name, email address. Remember, it's a customer. We're going to do something with the customer record, right? So let's see. We would need a reference. And we're going to call this one company. company, and we'll get out to the sys user table. There's the sys user table. And we'll make it a pretty basic one. We're just going to say active is true. So any active user that's in the system. Actually, you know what? Take that back. This is the company. Sorry. Core company. There we go. Core company. There we go. That makes more sense. Active. Why do we not have a... All right, we'll save it. The insert and stay. We'll come back to it. Why is our active field not showing up on the core company? It's odd. Why? That's interesting. All right, let's look at our variables that we have for our multi-line variable. Come on. There we go. So we have company, last name, first name, email address. So let's get these in order here. Let's do 10. So when they show up on the form, it kind of comes in a logical order. We'll do 30. Company 40. And you know what? We need one more. Let's do one more. A action. This is going to be select box. Include none. Make it mandatory. Yeah. And we'll save this and we'll give us a couple actions here. All right, so for action, we're going to have add. Pretty easy. And remove. Okay, let's jump back into our company here. I know there's an active flag on the company. I just don't know why it's not allowing us to choose it in the filter. Interesting. Companies. What? What? American Online, that's funny. They're not marked as a customer. I can log into my proper dev environment and we can look at the active flag. There's 100% an active flag on the customer record. There's no doubt. Configure table. What is going on? How is the active flag missing on core company? Okay. Well, or Google. Hmm. Just chatting. Interesting. I just cannot believe this is not. We use it in all of our. Hmm. Does it only get added when domain sep is enabled? I'm stumped. I cannot believe there's not an active flag already on the table. That is insane to me. Makes no sense. What the? What the? Yeah, exactly. We just got all. We got manufacturer. We're gonna have vendor. There's vendor, but no active. I cannot believe this. Anyway, all right. Well, for those that work in ServiceNow, we know that there's an active flag on our tables, on our company table. And I know it's not going to be under our related stuff. So, all right. Well, we'll leave it at that. All right. So we'll leave that. We'll leave that. All right. So let's go back to our multi-line text, our multi-line variable. Go back here. Let's give it a try and see what it looks like. All right, looks pretty good so far. We're gonna add. Let's see how it works. Look at that. We got our action. We're gonna add. Test. Test. And we get a reference to our company. Pretty good. We'll just do Acre North America. Add. And now we can keep going down and adding in additional roles as needed. All right, so let's build out the let's build out the table where we're going to store this stuff, right? So in our case, we have a custom table. I'll make sure that if you're following along with this, that you have enough table allocations left in your subscriptions. Most of the time, every time you renew with ServiceNow, they give you X amount of custom tables to help round out any gaps in any of your processes and business processes and applications that you may need to track or append to some of your other records. And that's what we did in our case, right? So what we did is we'll go ahead and leave here. We won't save it. We created a new table, and it was basically called customer roles. So we'll create a new table, and it tells you, right, creating custom tables is creating it in a scoped app. We could create this in a scoped app, but for now, we're just going to do, just a table, just a normal table. There's no reason for us, for this example, to do a scoped app. So we're going to call this customer contact. Let's do customer team members. Team members. Roles. Something like that, right? There we go. So we got our new table name. Won't create a mobile module. We'll create the module so we can get back there easier. And for this one, it's going to be the user. All right. There's going to be a reference. This is going to be sysuser. And display. That's fine. And here's going to be a reference to the company. Core company. Okay. And last but not least, the role. And this is going to be a choice. Okay. Let's save that. And I should note, if you guys are doing this, make sure you track it in an update set. If you're doing it in a scoped app, make sure you have your scoped app either connected out to something like GitHub to save your commits. ServiceNow's done a good job in the last couple of releases to allowing us to actually post to our own internal code repository, even for scoped apps.
Super Smash.
The hell was that? To allow us, easier time of moving code around. In our scoped apps, it just really makes it a lot easier for us to move that scoped app around, get updates. It's just like doing any other app that you downloaded from the store. You go to your company applications. Once it's published, then you can go to your test and prod environments, your UAT environments, and install it, take it through user training, and you're off and running. It's pretty slick. All right, so let's go into the role here, and we're going to add our choices to the roles. And it's going to be, we'll just do a 2 right now. Change approver. And we'll just make it the same for now. Change approver. Right, save. And I'll make this one financial approver. Financial approver. We'll do an insert. So now we got our two choices. We got our values. We got our table. So if we show the table, should be pretty basic. All right, show the list. Oh, just kidding. Wrong one. Show list. There we go. If we do new, now you can see we can have a user. So we can take good old Able Tutor. First name, Able. There's Able. We can make him a change approver for Acme North America. Okay. Now we have a list that we can have as many different types of roles, right? Many roles to a single company. A user can also have more than one role. So Able could also be a financial approver, security contact, whatever those are that that you come up with that fits your needs into your organization, right? So we've got Acme North America, we've got our change approver, we have Able is going to fill that role, and then let's do another one here, and let's see, is Fred in? Yeah, of course Fred's in there, and he's going to be the financial approver for Acme North America. So now we got a couple in there for Acme, a couple different roles being filled by Able and Fred. Okay. So yeah, so we got the table made. So now actually, you know what? We need to hop back to our catalog item. We need to hop back to our catalog item and shortcut, configure item. We also need, we forgot our roles. We need our roles, right? We need our roles here. So let's get that added. Okay. Choose a role. Okay, this is going to be. Oopsie. It's going to be a select box. Yeah. Wonder if we can find the table that we already used. That would be kind of cool. So we wouldn't have to redo it. CU underscore. C. What would that be? Did we get it from our team? Can we get this? Can we get this? Yeah, I don't know if we can get that or not. That'd be pretty sweet if we could. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Pretty cool. Let's see how that works out. Oh, that's got to be mandatory. That's got to be mandatory. Gotta be mandatory. Roll. And we'll make 50, 60. There we go. Let's see if that worked for us. Let's try it out. Add. That is pretty slick. That is pretty slick. Just saved us from having to create another choice list in our variable set. In our multi-line variable, we reused the one we've already created in our table. Good thinking. All right. So we're going to say Steve Jones. Oops. Steve Jones sj@test.com. Acme North America. Change approver. Add. Look at that. Now we have an action that we can now go through in our flow, and we can actually add this person automatically to our list. We can do that in our flow designer by grabbing the variables, and let's see what we can do with that. There's some other things that we want to do too, right? And some of the things we probably need is we probably need some user information, right? Right. So what does that mean, right? Does a user already exist for that role and company? Right? We should probably look that up before we do anything with it, right? What if they don't exist? What if the user doesn't exist in the system, right? So user validation probably is a better term there, right? User validation. Does the user already exist? Are they in the system? Do they already have that role? Do they already have that role in company? That would be a big one to know. Okay, so how can we go about doing that? How can we go about doing that? Well, we can do a couple things. Duplicate a tab here. So this is our table. So if we go back to our show table, remember, just a table in ServiceNow, right? So we can, in our catalog item, we can add some contextual searching, right, via code to go and look at what they're choosing when they add a user, right? So if they fill in this information, we have an email address, right? We can use that email address and the role to see if they're in the system already. If they are, we should probably tell them, hey, that user already has that role. No need to add them to your list. Please remove it or click cancel. So let's walk through that. So in order to do this, we're probably going to have to do a couple things. We're probably going to need our client catalog script, right? That's going to be the front end of it. That's going to be what the user interacts with and what we do to pop the stuff back to the user. And then we're probably going to need a script include. More than likely, it's going to be a script include that extends the AJAX processor. So we want to be able to take client stuff, inputs from the client, from our form on the web page, send it back to the server, and let the server do all the calculations, do the lookups, whatever we need to do behind the scenes, send that back to the server for processing, and then we can return the results and tell the user, hey, we found this users, they're already added to the list, don't add them, right? And then after they're, if we don't find them in the system, we don't find them in the lookup list in our team members table, then leave them in the list. Once we pass that information back to Flow Designer, in Flow Designer we'll take those variables and do some more magic with them to pass it back to probably another script that will look at our action. It'll look at do the lookup for the user, add them to the user table, associate them with the company that was chosen, and then ultimately add them to that list as a team member with that role. So let's get going a little bit here. So let's start with our catalog script, and this is going to be check for user and role. Okay, leave it in the desktop, and this is going to be, we're going to do an on change, and we're going to do it for in the wrong spot. In the wrong spot. They got to be in my variable set. It is very important to note, if you want to do something with your input and validation, you cannot, at least I haven't found a way yet, have variables that sit on your form and then have that modal come up and try to interact with the form behind the screen. It's not the active form anymore. So gform in your client script doesn't necessarily give you access to the variables that aren't active. It's not sure if there's a way around it. If you do know how to do that, leave it in the comments below, and we'll make sure that we bring that back up on stream. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're here. All right, so go into our variable set, and here's where we want to create the client catalog scripts here. Okay, so now we do new, and now we're going to say check for using a role. It's going to be an on change, and we're going to look that up when they change the drop down for the role. Right. So essentially what we want to do here is when they go in and they're on that modal and they choose a role, we want to send something back for processing and let them know, hey, this user's all good to go. We don't see them in the list. Or this user already exists in the list. Please remove them or don't submit the record, right? Or cancel. Right. So what do we need to get started here? Let's see. We're going to say var email equals gform dot get value and it's going to be our variables name, right? So variables dot, I always cheat. I want to come over here, email underscore address, email underscore address. All right. Now, if you want to test this real quick to make sure that you're getting your variables right, you can do something like this. You can do alert. Again, this is in the client, so stuff like alert and things like that we would normally see in a normal web browser session. You can put it in here. You can do alert, and then I'll just do email, and we can see if we're getting our email address. All right, so if we go back to here, let's go to here, do a little refresh, make sure the cache is good. So we'll do add. I'm just going to put an email address in here, test.com. And you see we're getting the value from our email address. Pretty slick. Okay, cancel that out. And we'll go back to go back here, configure item. Get back into our variable set. Get into here. All right, so we're also going to need company equals gform get value variables dot oops dot what do we call it? Company. Then we're going to say var email company role. Form dot get value variables dot user role. All right, boom, there we go. So now we've got all of our we've got our variables from our form, right? Now we got to pass this back into our script include, right? And get some information from the server, have them look up the customer or look up the email address, see if it exists, and then go from there. So we can do it a couple. So I usually do something like var glide AJAX or GA, right? From a variable name equals new, and then glide AJAX, and then the script name, right? So we don't have that script created yet, so we're going to call this one PDI AJAX helper. That way we can use it for additional things. Okay, save that. Okay, now I always forget the syntax for setting up the parameters. So glide AJAX syntax ServiceNow. Oh, here we go. Always use the documentation. ServiceNow does a pretty good job of keeping their documentation updated. So always use the documentation just to make sure that you're doing what you need or you get what you got. Wait, what does that mean? What the? I'm not sure what I just said there. Anyway, so there's our glide AJAX, right? We're gonna add our params. So this first one is the name of the method and function in the script include that we're going to create, and then this is going to be our params that we're going to pass back to our script include, and then set up another function within your script, get XML. It takes a response input when you run this. So it's going to be var answer equals response dot get the answer, and that's going to be what we return back from our script include. Okay. All right, so we'll leave that there, and we got that. So let's take this. You know you're doing it right if you got lots of tabs open. All right, so we're going to go to script includes. We'll go to script includes. Make sure I don't have a AJAX one already. I'd rather use one that I have. Don't see one that I've started, so we'll create a new one. And we'll paste the name in there, make it client callable. And then it sets everything up. Zoom out. Cam top right. So you see that it already sets up our script for us. It extends off of the AJAX abstract AJAX processor, which allows us to come in here and actually start creating the stuff that we need for this particular example, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say
Super smash.
I'm going to turn that one off. Dude, we're just coding. I didn't think the code police were going to come in here already. It's crazy. All right, so let's see what this is going to be. This is going to be look up user colon function. Since this is AJAX, we're not going to put anything in there. Right. Well, now we got the start of that. So let's save this. Select a role for access. Oh, interesting. That's pretty cool. Since this is client callable, you can now select a role. It must be new in Utah. All right, well, anyone with ITIL works for me. Oh, forgot the comma. Forgot the comma. There we go. Save. ITIL. I don't think that's required to put a role on there, but why not? All right, so now we got our script include started. We've got it initiated. So if we save this, you notice now when we get in here, I don't know why it doesn't. Come on, let's refresh it. Really? Why are you not? Interesting. What is it? Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Sweet. All right. So we added our global. Sometimes I don't always have to put in the global, but I do most of my work out of scoped apps and in a domain separated environment. So anyway, so got that initiated. So now we got to do ga dot add parm, And the first one's going to be system underscore, what was it? Sysparm name. Yeah, Sysparm name. Yep. And that's going to be lookup user. Do proper camel case. So Sysparm underscore name. Name. And that's going to be a comma. Then the name of our function, our method. User. And ga.add parm. This parm, and then our variable that we want to call. We'll call this email, comma, and we already have email up there, email, and now we rinse and repeat these lines. Okay, and this one's going to be comp and roll. This is going to be company, roll. Okay. Here's a ga dot get xml, the name of our function, right? Yep. The name of our function, whatever we're going to call it in here. And we're going to say get user info. Okay. Function get user info response open close, and then we're going to say answer. Yep. Let me just copy this. Boom, there we go. And then we're going to do something with our answer, right? So in this case, we're going to say gform add info message answer. All right. I think we got the front half here laced up and ready to go. We got our inputs. We got our variables. We got our glide record, or glide AJAX instantiated. Add parms. There's our lookup user. Sysparm. Boom. Gonna get it. All right, let's save this. There we go. All right, so let's go back to our script here. So now here's where we get to add the fun stuff in our script, right? So now down in the script, we need to come down into, so here's the script include, right? So here's where we get our variables from, right? So it's this dot get parameter, and this is where it's going to be the parameters that we set in the script side, on the client script side, right? So we're going to say var email equals this dot get parameter. Yep. Parameter. This is going to be email, right? Yep, email, right? Email. Bam, email. So we got company and role now. Do that. Oh, let's get our semicolon. All right. Boom. Company. roll. Okay, so now that we have these, we can do this. We can say var gr for glide record equals new glide record. Since we are in the new, let's get our custom table. Boom, there it is. All right, I can see how it gives us the italicized there. In Utah, if you right click, you can show data, show definition to get out. Before you could control click, they've changed that. So we got that. So we got the new glide record. And we can do this a couple ways. We can add, the easy way just would be like this. Gr dot add query. And it's going to be U company. You can also go out and do an encoded query if you wanted, and then just replace the encoded query with and U underscore roll add query U underscore what do we got? Email. That'd be email. Our comment there. All right, so now we got our glide query. Give us a new line here, just to give us some room to work with. So we pass back the information that we need. We're going to query this table to see if there is already if that user already has the role that they selected, right? Okay, So now we're going to say if gr next. So if we find that role, that email address, let's see, how do we want to do this? Hold on a second. So we need to do something first. We got to refactor this a little bit, right? So because we need the user ID. If we look at our table, right? Let's talk about that for a second. If we look at this, we need the user ID based off that email address, right? Yeah, so we need to change our strategy up a little bit here. So the first thing we need to do, okay, let's do this. We can do this a couple ways. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do var get ID equals new record this underscore user. Add our query. Sure. Control. Make sure it's called email. Pretty sure it's email. Yep. Okay. List here. All right, so what we're going to do is there's a couple ways we could do this. We could have another script include if you have any other libraries that you set up within your environment to you know, common calls, get company record IDs, get user IDs. We could have another script include that's not AJAX sitting in the back end that has the rest of our library. But for this case, to keep it simple, we're just going to do the glide record lookup in our AJAX. We're going to return the sysid of the user, and then once we have that, we can pass it down. Because this is actually down here, we need to add query. This is user, and this is going to be user ID eventually, right? Actually, let's do that. Yeah, user. Okay, add query. So we're looking up this. Okay. If so query sys user for the email address. If we get a next, user ID is going to enter that sys ID, right? So here's how we're going to do some other checking, right? So now we're going to say else, right? So if we don't find a sys ID, we're going to return didn't find, oops. That's why we use some double quotes. Did not find user in system. Okay. So now down here, we can put some conditions around it saying if user ID, now we can do this stuff. Right? So this gives us our user ID. Awesome. Skip past that. If we have user ID, we're going to go look up the user to see if they already have that role in the system based off their email address. And here, let's format our code a little bit to make it prettier. Come on. Why are you dogging me right now? Oh, because MTF black. So if next, return do this email plus already has this role. Okay. So we're going to look up the user. We get the ID. When we come down here, we're going to see if they're in our members role. Return that. And we could even do an else here, right? We could do it at return. Please give us a name. Oops, what are you doing, Scott? Our space is let's see what should we say? Is available and cleared to have we can even do something like this, right?
Super smash.
Okay. Squirrel. Yep. I messed up too many times. Code police came to get me again. All right, so we're going to save this. Okay. So we got our lookup user function. Come down. It's going to do all this fun stuff. We got the email. We got the company. We got the role. We're going to look up the user based off the email address. We're going to query that. If we get it, we set it for the sys ID. If we don't find it, we return to not find the user in the system. We will and add. Okay. If we get the user ID back, look them up in the company and see if they already have it. If not, it's available and clear to be assigned the role. All right. How bad could this be? Let's see what happens. So if we come back here, go back to here. Nope, just kidding. This guy, do a little refresh. See what happens. Cam. Yeah, you're good. Let's do some able tutor. Let's use able. Use able. And add able tutor. Acme North America. I think we named him a change approver. Add. Oh, not quite. What did we miss? So look at, we got something going on in our alert. All right, let's see, what did we miss here? Check this. Info response. This looks good. Okay. Oh, it's comp. It's comp. I messed up. It's comp. Save. Refresh. Add. Able. Boot. Dang, what are we missing? What are we missing? What are we missing? We got our syntax correct. Does that get correct? This parm. This parm. Wait, what? Oh. Did I really mess it up? Yep, sure did. Let's see. Let's try that. Hopefully this is the winner. We are missing something. We're missing something. Email. Company. I think we're missing something on the front end. That's what I think. This get parameter, sysparam, yep, then our thing. Good there. Add param, sysparam. Yep. GA, that, what's that? Alert response. We missed. What did we miss? New glide record. Change. Choose a role. Email address. Oh, those are good. AJAX. We're having to have that. Ah, look at that. I knew that didn't need to be in there. A. T. A. Acme. America. Oh, come on. Seriously? All right, this is good. Let's troubleshoot. Let's troubleshoot. Alert. Roll plus company plus oops plus email. Save that. Refresh. Add. Okay, so we've got that's all good there. So that's good. Okay. So you're good there. Save. Why do you keep dogging me here? What am I missing? See that? Why is my glide AJAX not? New glide AJAX. Name of the script include. Hmm. Does my user not have item? Is that what it is? Is there a way to delete this? How do I delete this? Hmm. Well, let's make sure that I know he does, but let's just check. Oh, come on. Well, there you go. Let's see if that fixes it. Wouldn't that be a hoot? Still, what the hell? All right, are we getting anything in our logs? Question mark. Let's see. What are we getting? What are we getting here? Pattern. Invalid query. Unknown field. Null. And table core company. Oh, come on, Scott. What are you doing? You're a bonehead. Yeah, Scott, what are you doing? Ugh. All right, let's save that. Maybe this time. That's what we always say, right? A G A. Oh, get them out of here. What is going on? Oh, oh, the typos. Think, I think we're getting close. A T A. Ah, look at that. Ugh. Okay. Closer. So why did we not find able tutor? Not find the user in the system. The system will create the user first and add the role. So let's see here. So we did not. Next. So it did not like that to here. Query, if to next, do. Let's do. Let's see. Let's make sure able. Nope. Users able. Able tutor. Oh, make sure I spelled the. I did. Do, 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 do. We're getting close. So now why are we not getting the desired result here? Why are we not getting the desired result? Because that spam email. Yeah, email, syspam email, email. Hmm. Hmm. Oh shit. Helps if we actually query. Helps if we actually query. What do you think? Is this it? Look at that. Look at that. Able Tutor at example.com already has this role. Check that out. Is that wonderful? That's fantastic. That is fantastic. There we go. Bingo. Bingo, 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 bingo. There we go. Add. Boom. Now we have some validation set up. We've got a multi-line variable. Let's see what I think Fred is probably the same, right? So this is verify. I think it's Acme North America. And he was a financial approver. Look at that. It is working. We have validation when they choose a role. We look up the user in the user table by their email address. We take that SysID, then we pass that on to our second function, or our second Clyde record. Then goes and looks up them in the customer team members table, and we return our email already has this role. If they don't have the role, then bingo bango. So what we would really start doing here, and maybe this will be part two, right? And part two we'll pick up the flow designer part and how we would expand on this to create the to create the user, right? So right here's what we should be doing is passing more information back to the system, right? And we'll do that in part two. We'll keep adding on to this to where we get a fully functional catalog item and flow behind the scenes. So yeah, there we go. But first part's done. We got our catalog done. We got a multi-row variable set going. We've got some validation, looking up the user in the sys user table with their email address. What we really should be doing is, part two will add, if we don't find them, if we don't find the user, we'll actually add the user to the system, and then once we get that done, we'll return that and then pass that back to querying and adding them into the team members table. So there we go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Appreciate everyone's time, and we'll talk at you later. Peace out.